There's two ways of thinking with this car. One, it's a modern E-Type. Two, the E-Type is a lovely burden to have. To me, I'm seeing a lot of different cars in the lines. It's a hybrid.
Yep.
It's modern looking. It's obviously a Jaguar. But I'm even getting bits of Z8 in it. I don't know what you sort of think.
Well, I think
Some of
that's
the front
almost,
bumper.
you tend to see that in a lot of modern cars anyway. There's this trend, you can even see it in Ferraris, where you've got this stacked headlight running back over the wing, so that you've got the visibility from the side, I guess.
Well, even that strip there is a little bit like the 350Z headlight that Nissan
I mean,
had.
that Jaguar grille is distinctly, that reminds me of Jaguar, and those styling cues sort of go back to E-Type.
But have you noticed that the Jaguar's wearing dark glasses now?
I have. He's gone all cool and styling.
He's got Ray-Bans on this vehicle.
I rather like these big deep wish wheels. They're very, very aggressive, but there's a sort of integrity that design I rather like.
Again, there's lots of carbon fibre details, but obviously that's going to be an option pack from what, if this was ever to make it through from...
If it was. I mean, I love those sexy little... See the way the Jaguar lights up at the side? You've got that red glow at the side, which I'm sure you'd never be allowed to have in the UK, but...
No,
God,
I don't think you
nice.
would. It would be against
It would be against
regulations
living
and
or
what have you.
something.
Nice little flash details with the handles and everything.
Definitely. Well,
you know, the wind vanes going around here and the splitter around the back in carbon. Are you surprised to see steel brakes
yeah.
in this day and age?
I am, but then again, I know people who've raced on carbon fibre, and the expense of replacing carbon fibre when you need to, and the general feel, if you've got a good steel brake setup, it works really, really well.
Light details?
Light details remind me of a VW, funnily enough.
Yeah.
I rather like them, but you see what I mean? I'm sure I've seen that on a Passat or something similar. I like the quad exhaust. I like the sort of deep dish wheels. It's not too bling. And I think, again, the side detail underneath the doors, that's rather neat. Little piece of carbon fibre there.
Yeah, I quite like the way that they actually haven't tried and taken it to the very start. It sort of cuts in halfway through that front, actually directly under the Jaguar sign. So it flares out and gives you a sort of idea of speed.
It looks as if it's doing something useful
yeah.
too. You can imagine it pushing air back over, away from the wheels and so on, because those arches don't cover the base of the tyres at all. So I'd imagine the airflow's going that way. There'd be a lot of drag. I mean,
on those rear arches, yes.
Yeah, definitely.
And even on the front, when you look at how it scallops in to create that nose, you can see.
I do like this dark glass thing on the Jaguar.
It does look very cool, I tell you.
He looks a mean mother, definitely.
But yeah, it is weird how that sort of cuts in so much rather than squaring off. We're used to seeing a lot more slab-sided vehicles now, with the emphasis being on aerodynamics and covering the wheels as much as possible.
Other question, I guess, is it instantly recognisable as a Jaguar? Does it have brand identity? You saw that, what do you think, Jaguar?
I think you would. I think you're getting a little bit I'm getting a bit of BMW, like from this angle particularly, the front, very BMW-ish.
Yep.
I'm getting a little bit of Aston Martin. I'm getting a little bit of Jaguar.
I'm seeing Aston on the door
I'm even
detail,
getting
definitely.
Morgan from that rear shape, you know, on the aero.
Hadn't thought about it, but I think you're right.
We were talking earlier about the back mechanism and how this detail works. Now I'm told that there's a magic button somewhere underneath.
I like that.
It's pretty interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, it's as useful as having a remote control to open your kitchen cabinet doors, but I really like it.
They'd most probably put it on the remote as well, I'm sure.
I think you need to.
So you could just do it outside Sainsbury's or something, you know? It's, again, in here, it looks like we've got sort of various power pack bits and bobs.
Well, you've got this great big hybrid sort of sign.
And this inverted A carbon structure that we were talking about earlier.
Absolutely.
It's a show car. It's not for carrying the shopping back from the supermarket, but, you know, you get the idea, don't you? And that is a cool way of opening the boot.
Sure, as long as you don't have a major shop, it will be okay. And you could probably do a sort of light weekend away with soft bags, but you're not going to do a trip to the airport in this. You just don't have the room to get anything of a consequential size in.
Look at the bulk on that hinge and on that sort of frame. That's
an
engineering.
It's a thing of beauty, though. You must admit.
Exactly.
It really is.
Right, we'll move round to the inside as well. I'll let you go up front now.
Well, I suppose you don't need to be told it's a Jaguar, but there's a reminder there just in case you've forgotten. I think this...
It is a little bit disco-ish. I see exactly what you mean about the grab handle now.
Yep. I mean, that's Alpha 8C all the way through, isn't it? And I think I've seen that on one or two other manufacturers, but the way that actually works reminds me so much of the Alpha. I can accept that the sort of switchgear isn't to your taste, but for me, I rather like that. I find it's reassuring if I'm hurtling along in the dark and I can find this lovely reassuring glow from the interior.
The thing that I do like about it is I've just noticed if you look on the air conditioning knobs,
yes,
they actually display in the centre of each knob
the temperature.
So each knob is actually a display gauge as well, which is quite cool.
I think that's a very, very nice touch. And accepting it's a show car, I don't know if you can see the detail, but on the roof it almost looks like there's a tyre imprint up there, but it's rather bestial.
I can see
like
they've sort of imprinted something up there, and there's lots of different displays going on that centre console.
Yeah.
Again, lots of buttons. Flappy paddle gearbox, yeah. We've got some paddles back there, again, look very functional.
If it works okay, then I'm a fan of flappy paddles.
And these look very supportive buckets, they really do.
Yeah, absolutely. I think for a sort of concept car, a show car, I think it's very well finished, and I think, can't wait to see the finished product.
And the disco lighting follows through to underneath the door handles and everything else on the other side.
And absolutely, and on this one you can see it's even going through the B post right down to
we've got it along the roof line as well. So
yeah,
they've got their lighting party book out.
Yeah, party in my car.